Sexual activities. The main parts of the males to access are comb, easiest to see, legs and cloaca, legs and cloaca. Legs and cloaca. Main parts of the males to access are comb, legs, and cloaca. A male that is in good condition and mates well has an even red color all over the comb. Its wattles, and in the area around its eyes, its wattles, and in the area around wattles in the around its eyes. The wattles and in the around its eyes. It's wattles in the around the eyes, around wattles. Its wattles and around in its eyes. The closer to the eye, the more intense and red color. The closer to eye, the more intense the red color. A male that is not in good condition and that does not mate well will lose its red color from its eyes to the outside, from its color from its eyes to the outside. Males that have little color in their face probably don't mate much and should be removed. Active male at 30 weeks of age. Active male at 30 weeks of age. Yellow legs, hocks, turning red at the edges. Yellow legs, hocks, and red at the edge. Moist cloaca. Active male at 30 weeks of age. Yellow legs and moist cloaca. Active males. Yellow legs. Active male at 35 weeks of age. Active male at 35 weeks of age. Clear red edge at the hawk. Clear red edge at the hawks. Clear red edge at the hawks. Pink red and moist cloaca. 35 weeks. Active male at 55 weeks of age. Warm and red belly. Large red comb and red around the eyes. Grading is a continuous process to prevent the removal of too many males at once. Grading is a continuous process to prevent the removal of too many males at once. Grading is continuous process to prevent the removal of too many males at once. As this may lead to unrest, inactive male at 30 weeks of age, pale legs and no red edge at the hocks, dry cloaca. Inactive male at 35 weeks of age, no red hooks, dry pale cloaca. Inactive male at 35 weeks of age, well feathered, pale, warm, and red belly, well feathered, pale belly, pale comb, and white around the eyes. Inactive male. An obvious situation of a group of females. Obvious situation of a group of females surrounded by dominant males. An obvious situation of a group of females surrounded by dominant males. Male-female interaction. Competition will make males perform better. Diversity is therefore good in a male population. If the males are too dominant or too many in number, they may encircle the female. This is undesirable. The male should mingle with females. Look for the cause of this behavior. Males are ahead of the females in terms of development. Percentage of males is too high. Relatively small little area. Stocking density too high. Variation of individual male activity over time. Progency per male. Weeks of production. Progeny. Progeny per male. Weeks of production. Every male is different. Some males are very fanatical in the beginning, but can only maintain that spirit for a short time. Live fast, die young. Other males take it easy and become sexually active later in the production period. The combination of these types works very well. They complement each other. Don't be too quick to remove males. They can improve later as long as they remain in good condition. A uniform distribution of males and females increases the number of indication to mating. Dominant males surrounded dominant males surrounded a group of females. This inhibits normal male-female interaction. Influencing mating behavior. You see that in a narrow poultry house, it is rather crowded with equipment and birds. By hosting one of the feeding line, you create room for mating behavior. A typical image: males dominate the little area, and females are sluts. But make sure they mingle sufficiently and that the hens do not flee to the source. Hens do not flee to the sluts. Out of fear for the males. Males on the slotted floor in the afternoon is not a good signal. Males are supposed to walk in the litter area. Young males may be pecked at by females and older males. Or submissive males are taking cover. Submissive males are taking cover. Remove these males. They are not functioning and just eat expensive feed. Submission. Submissive. A female with bad feathering will not be willing to mate and will avoid males. Remember, it takes two for a successful mating. Injuries are caused by crooked toes and toenails of males. Overactive males or high stocking density. Injuries can also result from too little feeding space for females at the beginning of the production period. Before the satiation point, climbing on the top of each other, or poor feathering to start with. Satiation point. By lifting up the female's feeding system, you can also influence behavior. With many aggressive males, you keep the feeding system down. Males are then not only focused on the female, and the females have more escape options. If the fertility rate remains low, you lift up the system so that the males and females mix more and fertility results improve. By lifting up the female feeding system, you can also influence behavior. With many aggressive males. You keep the feeding system down. With many aggressive males, the males are then not only focused on the females, and the females have more escape options. If the fertility rate remains low, you lift up the system so that the males and females mix more and fertility result improve. By lifting up the female system, you can also influence behavior. You can also influence behavior. Take a look behind you. Take a look behind you as you walk through the flock. When you check or scatter grain, not much happens in front of you. Not much happens in front of you. The birds move aside in front of you. But look back and you will see mating behavior. Look back. Not much happens in front of you. The birds move aside in front of you. If it goes well, but look back and you will see mating behavior. Aging and decreasing quality. Aging and decreasing quality. Sexual activity. Around 30 weeks of age, there is a turning point. The males then become less sexually active, and the sperm decreases in vitality and quantity. These males will complete fewer mating successfully. These males will complete fewer mating successfully. Sperm quality. The quality of the males and their sperm decreases while aging. The quality of the males and their sperm decreases while aging. The production of sperm will be less successful. The production of sperm will be less successful. The production of sperm will be less successful, resulting in more deformed sperm cells. This can reduce the fertility results because they can fertilize an egg, but this does not develop into an embryo. The quality of the males and their sperm decreases while aging. The production of sperm will be less successful, resulting in more deformed sperm cells. These can reduce fertility results because they can fertilize an egg, but this does not develop into embryo. Adding males that replace selected males. Adding males that replace selected males from 40 weeks can prevent a downward trend. Adding males that replace selected males from 40 weeks can prevent a downward trend. Females have the ability to retain sperm for about 10 days in order to fertilize all the eggs in the clutch of eggs. Females have the ability to retain sperm for about 10 days in order to fertilize all the eggs in the clutch of eggs. Therefore, it is not necessary to mate for every egg she lays. When she mates several times a day, it is usually the sperm of the last male that fertilizes her egg. It is thought that this involves repelling sperm from less dominant males in favor of sperm from more dominant males.